Alright guys, what is going on everybody? We're gonna get this thing started here in just a bit. Give me a second guys. Alright guys, we're going to start this off now. Appreciate all of you guys for staying on here. I do apologize for being a little bit late. Okay, had some internet issues here earlier. So what I'm going to focus on today is going to be specifically, okay, primarily where we are in this funded challenge right now, what we're planning on doing next. Okay, I know I called out a really cool gold trade and also a great GU trade. Well, the GU trade I didn't enter, but I know some of you guys did in the chat and made some money on that. And also, we also entered a gold trade, which did absolutely incredible, and we took profit. So we're up a total of 300 pips already for the week with gold, and I know some of you guys are up a good amount here with GU. So this is going really great. What I'm looking to do next right now is kind of checking out what the market's gonna kind of give us here. I didn't trade today, I'll just be honest. I kind of took a day off. I've been super busy, super slammed. I'm working with a lot of stuff on the front end and back end for Trade by Design. So we're talking about doing some in-person events. We're talking about doing more challenges, and most importantly, just helping people, cross the finish line here. So let's kind of go over what happened with news today, because obviously we had some really big news. So I want to see the aftermath of that news. Then what I want to do is I want to kind of check out what else is going to be kind of stirring up here, okay, this week. So, wow, we had some pretty decent news here. As you guys can see, right, we can already see it very clearly, right? ADP, non-farm employment change, came out lower than expected. So obviously terrible for markets, not good for markets at all. I'm very curious to see kind of how that reacted, because SPX, that's actually bullish for SPX. Dixie, it's bullish for Dixie. So obviously ADP, non-farm employment change, it can also give us some insight too, because if we had bad ADP, non-farm employment numbers, it could also mean that we're going to have very bad NFP. Not a very bad NFP, but a pretty bad NFP. And the clear reason is because, the fact that we had, again, these bad numbers here for ADP, it gives us a better idea of what's going on the overall economy. So I could probably see us have a pretty bad NFP based off of this right now. Okay, so now let's take a look at not just ADP. Let's take a look at USM services PMI. This came out actually better than expected. This has to do a lot with growth. So services are obviously growing. The service-based business is more recession-proof, and I wouldn't say recession-proof completely. It just has obviously higher margins for profit, so it can sustain a lot more of a potential downside if there's one to it. Okay, so that's just something I want you guys to be pretty aware of here when it comes to that. Okay. Now, another thing I'll say is, let's take a look at the next news here. Jolt's job opening. Okay, so the Jolt's job openings actually came out lower than expected. So let's take a look at this. We have, okay, let's just calculate this here. We have NFP, which is downward. Not only do we have NFP down, I mean ADP down, bearish. We have Jolt's job openings bearish, and then services PMI somewhat bullish here. So overall, today was pretty bearish for the market, and it's Wednesday. So I mean, you know, usually you have that weekly reversal happening around that time period. Now let's take a look at, let's say, what's going to happen tomorrow here, because we're going to be trading New York session live tomorrow again. We have unemployment claims higher than expected, so the job market's going to take another hit most likely tomorrow. And then we have obviously the biggest news here, and that's going to be NFP on Friday, which I'm really excited about. Most importantly, I'm actually curious to see how the market's going to react to NFP this month. I believe we're going to still be bullish, but NFP might be that pullback that we need in the overall market. Okay, what do I mean by that? That pullback on gold, that pullback on SPX that I've been looking for here for a long time. I believe that NFP might be, you know, obviously that main factor here for us. Okay, that's what my thought process is here, or thought process is with this. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go run and grab some water here. Just give me 1 minute. 1 minute, guys. Okay, so now I'm back, guys. So what I'm looking at right now, let's take a look at primarily Dixie here. Let's take a look at Dixie here, so that way we'll be able to see what's going on and what's happening, okay? So first thing that I'm looking at here, Dixie moving to the upside, okay, coming to that area that we've talked about here on the daily. Let's get rid of some of these things here, because we know they're going to target these lows here regardless, okay? I mean, we thought that these lows are going to get targeted, but this is a complete break of structure here. So with Dixie breaking structure to the upside, which it confirmed that today, this is very, very bullish for Dixie. What that means is, guys, we're for sure coming back to daily, and oh yeah, this thing is done. So Dixie's coming back to 98, which means we might have a really harsh pullback on markets, which is shocking here. We also broke, not only did we break structure on Dixie on the daily, let me put this right here. I'm going to label this. I usually do that all the time. Let me label this. BOS daily. So not only did we have a BOS on the day, but we also had, okay, a break of structure on the 4 hour. So Dixie's coming here. What the hell is going on? Okay, so like we talked about on the New York session, I called buys here on Dixie and we rallied, right? You see that? Doing the same thing here. I'm calling buys and pullbacks for Dixie. Where am I looking at Dixie to come back to? At least this zone, and then extend to the upside. This thing has fully broken. I'm going to look at confluence areas here. I'm looking at the refined order block right in this location right here. You see that? Okay, refined order block, but I'm looking at the overall order block that I marked up here on the daily. So I'm looking at a potential area of, I would say, intersection right here, and multi-time frame confluence from what I believe, or where I believe price could probably head to. I believe price will come, retarget these highs, knock out these highs for sure, but a nice solid area of where I'm gonna probably want to see Dixie head to, and the most probable one, not thinking overly dramatic about it, is I believe that Dixie could head to, just based on that pullback here, and there's something here. Here, there we go, bingo. I got her. That indecisional candle here. That indecisional candle. Right, internal cells. That's where you're gonna see some resistance here. Okay. That's kind of what I'm looking at with Dixie here. All right, specifically. All right. Looking at this specific zone and a continuation of trend. The refined order block is right here. I'm going to kind of get rid of the refined order block for right now. Leave it alone. I'll mark it here just so I'm aware that there's a refined order block here. But we're looking for a pullback. Dixie's going to pull back. Once Dixie pulls back, it's going to make markets rally, and then you're going to have markets fall. Okay, so whenever that pullback happens, you're going to see markets rally. So what does that mean? It means that this entire thesis of me seeing price move to the upside is going to continue. Okay, so if we actually look at the buy I called also on Monday, we were 100% correct. You know, look at how much we were up in profits here. From our Monday call out, right? 5,777 points here. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this in the chat so everyone's aware. Monday call out. My thought process on this is it's still a buy. I'm looking for buys tomorrow morning. I'm looking for a swipe potentially back down to the order block and then a full extension to the upside for us to actually aim for even higher highs, which is 7,000 and 7,014. So I'm looking for buys on SPX. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be trading SPX for buys. Okay, today I didn't trade SPX, I'll be honest with you. Okay, but we were in trades yesterday and we were just in profit, right? So I'm looking for buys on SPX tomorrow morning. This is a nice area here, this indecision. It might bounce up from here. It might just rally overnight. If it does, whatever. I can't control it. But I'm not going to trade London or New York. It's just not my forte, guys. I don't trade those time periods. So for right now, that's completely fine. I'm not really, how do you say it, like concerned too much about it. But I'm looking for buys, right? So our signal hit. Let's look at SPY. SPY still needs to, you know, obviously fill in that gap. So again, we'll see what happens tomorrow. If price respects it, what will end up happening, and this is what I could see happen, is very clear. This impulse tomorrow morning Could reject, maybe do one more high. If it doesn't do that high, it'll come, mitigate, then come back down. Fill this price discrepancy and then rally. That's scenario 1. Okay? Scenario 2 with SPY and SPX is it just doesn't come back for a long time. You see, kind of similar to what it did here. You see that? See how SPY came back all the way to that zone? Same concept here, price discrepancy. So the second option is tomorrow it just starts dropping, fills this in. I'm going to want to get in for buys, and then we're going to look for buys long term, because then it's going to, a longer pullback will give us an extension to the upside here to aim for the 1.27 and 1.414. So either way, we're looking for buys long term. It doesn't matter. It's just how far of a pullback. My best case scenario is price comes here, and then we have the best cases, we have the price discrepancy fill here. Okay, we have this, this is like the best case scenario. I would love to do this for the challenge, because what that would do is it would give us such a good risk reward, and I'd probably go heavy with the trading. But it would give us a good entry here, right? And then our RR would be like out of this world. We'd look at like a 1 to 6, or even potentially what I'd really look for is a 1 to 7 here, right? And then we'd probably risk, like, I don't know, since we're up like 25 bucks on the challenge already, I'd probably risk 50 bucks to make what? You know, 7 times that, 350. So we double the account and more just in one trade with proper risk, being a little bit kind of on the crazier side. That's kind of what I'm looking for. That's what I want to look for, right? I want this gap to fill for sure. Let's look at Russell here. I gotta go, guys. I gotta drop off my parents at the airport. They've been visiting. Bro, Trump is hilarious. Trump is always doing something crazy. Okay, so now let's look at ES. Same concept, same thing. VIX still kind of doing what we're looking at, moving to the upside here. VIX, I think for gold might pull back actually, which is interesting here. Let's look at the 10-year yield. Looks like it's somewhat moving to the upside here. It already broke structure, so I'm looking for 10-year yields to increase still, even though it's on a slow uptrend to the upside. Let's look at gold here. Okay. Now, some of you guys might be saying, well, John, what's going on with gold? Are we still buying? Well, let's take a look, guys. You know, obviously, yeah, I'm still looking for buys on gold, but I'm looking for a pullback. And we might be getting that pullback soon from what it looks like. You know, obviously we had such a great trade that we caught the other day. Let's take a look at the Asian range here. All right. This nice little buy here. I got everybody in. When was that? No, that was on Monday right here. This little buy here. I got everybody in. I got out already. We went to higher highs here. We finally hit TPs here on Tuesday at 7 p.m. And then we had a pullback. So what am I looking for now? Right? Because today, during London session, this whole thing decided to pull back, right? Back to price where we actually entered, near the area that we entered here around like, you know, when was that? Like 11 a.m. somewhere here? I forgot exactly. Somewhere here we entered. So again, with gold, let's mark this up here. Oh yeah, we entered right here. So I remember I got in, we kind of got out like right around, it was Monday night. I said, guys, I'm getting out of this trade. We got stopped out like around like 1 in the morning. So a total of what? Another, let's mark this up here. About like 390 pips or something like that. I'll round it to 4,000 points on gold called out. Some people more, some people less. One thing I don't like about this, guys, is that this is an order flow. Okay, it's in constant order flow right now. So it's, I really don't like order flow. Because usually when you have bullish order flow, it means that you're bearish long term, which I don't like. And you're having internals breaks of structure here. You know, so I'm getting a little, I'm not going to say concerned. I just really don't like the way this looks. Because this tells me that a big pullback's coming. Huh? It broke the 2-hour candle here of structure. I mean, it clearly broke the 1-hour candle of structure. I believe, let's get rid of this here. I want to look still for buys here. As long as we don't break this area here, I'm still bullish. As long as we don't break that. We start breaking this primary zone, I'm very bearish. Now we have technically broken some of these zones over here, but you know, I'm expecting some type of pullback. Primarily, like, it's tough because I would say here, but this area is invalidated because price is already mitigated. So I could actually see price go even lower to like my area here. So I'm actually more prone to like wanting to call sells. I need to look at it tomorrow, guys. Unfortunately, I need to look at it tomorrow because this is an order flow. I just don't know how much longer it's going to be an order flow before it either option A swipes liquidity and then rallies, option B, which is the worst option, it just doesn't have too much of a pullback and then starts to rally. So we'll check out the trade tomorrow. I'm not going to be trading live, guys. I'm just looking at some charts here today to set up for tomorrow. I usually look at charts and set them up for tomorrow. So these are the sells we called out with GU. Wow, GU dropped dramatically. 70 pips. It's in a nice buy zone though. So I want to be somewhat, tomorrow morning we're going to go over it. But I want to go over it tomorrow because I'm going to probably look for buys if we don't break this structure here. If we do break this structure, then I'm going to look for maybe potential pullbacks here for buys. But to be honest, I do want to get in sells like right around this zone here. Okay. I do have to go, guys. This is going to be a very quick call, so I am going to like do this very quickly. A lot of people are asking me about crypto. People are asking, yo, is crypto back? Are we buying back crypto? I'm going to let you guys know right now, just the way that the market looks. Let me see. Let me look if crypto is a real buy. I'm going to give you guys an idea right now. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right, let's look at crypto here. Well, crypto came back to the area that I talked about that price would probably sell at. Or did we already talk about this on Tuesday? Actually, no, I called this order block here a long time ago. Wow, that's crazy. Isn't it crazy that price always comes back to the areas that we call? Because of this indecision. This actually looks very bullish for the first time in a long time for crypto. Wow. This actually looks good. Now I'm a little hesitant here just because it's happened a lot where crypto will look very bullish. It'll have breaks of structure, and crypto is highly manipulated, you know, but it's coming back to that indecision area. I'm not convinced. I'm not bullish on it until it breaks and closes above here on the daily. I'm not convinced. I've seen it so many times where price comes, looks bullish, breaks all this structure, swipes liquidity and then gets all these retail guys in, and then bang, drops another 10, 20, 30%. So I'm not convinced, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not. But it does look good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It looks good. It looks like accumulation. The one problem that I have here is that, yes, this looks like it's gonna turn around, but look at this here. This area here was completely broken. That usually means that if price closes below here, just in my book, it's like an 80 to 90% chance we're coming at least down here or down here to the other order blocks. So that could be a 17 to even 20% even further drop for crypto. And am I willing to bet crypto is going to move to the downside or upside based off of 20%? Hell no. Hell no. All right, guys. But this is going to sum up our session. Tomorrow we're going to trade live. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. If you guys are getting value from the Discord, all you got to do is make sure you're plugged into the Discord again. Drop a couple things that you learned here, okay? Make sure you stay active in the global chat. Okay, we are going out here and trading live together, so stay active in the global chat. If you guys have any questions, feel free, okay, to always act in the global chat. And people are getting results, man, every single day. People are growing, people are crushing it. But I appreciate y'all, love y'all, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.